learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming into June 17, 2020, and this could crash the stock market. It won't be immediate, but it happened today, and there's actually two different things, but it is very, very, very important. We actually had a really action-packed day, went from up 900 to almost red, and then up 500 close. But there was some really, really weird stuff we're going to talk about. So I will tell you right off the bat, those two things, if you haven't seen it, you may have heard about it already, but this India-China stuff, that's the first thing. And then the second thing was the lockdown news with China. And then surprisingly taking third place is Jerome Powell and the Fed. So I have updates on all of this, but this stuff is going to be interesting. I'm expecting to see how this plays out, and there's a reason why we still close green, but I'm expecting some slow boil news or even a new Wuhan zone, more or less. We're going to talk about it. You guys are going to see, but I think it's something to really, really talk about and explain, and it's very, very important. So I will explain why, but I have that for you. I got plays. I'm going to go over all the plays I made and specifically what I will be looking at tomorrow. However, I'm going to be writing out some of it and really responding. It depends what the market throws at us and how we could even set up next week and even getting more times on plays, but that is the game plan. Let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the stock market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And apparently you guys really like the whole you can meet your soulmate thing. So that is a possibility. I mean, for real. I do love you, though, but right off the bat, the two events today, they are both awful in the macro sense. Again, they're going to take time. That's why I'm saying this today, because I want you to understand this happened today, but there was other things that happened today that didn't let us see it. But I'm going to see how this plays out in the next few days. I'm expecting an initial price shock and then a follow-through of this news depending on how it escalates. So the first thing today was China and India. There has not been a past conflict between China and India since the 1960s and then even like the 1980s, and then the last time was 2017. I don't know how to spell de-escalation. I thought that was one word, but that is what happened. 2017 resulted in de-escalation and nobody died. So right now, I think it's already like 20 people have already died or more. It is like a armed conflict. So we will see. Again, there's no real history of this, but this is going to be interesting because if this gets bad, it's just weird to see India and China. And again, even considering now what is happening and the state of global affairs with everything. And now that leads to the second thing now. You had a lot of the second wave concerns today, but today prices in a brand new piece of news, in my opinion, and the markets even reacted to it. So we even saw it today while we were watching the Fed, and we will go over, you could kind of see it in the market. Again, we were up like 900 points here, and then this was kind of it started to drop a little bit during Powell, but then the news that really, really hit and drove it home was this news coming out of China that they're going to be closing down schools and universities, and now this is in Beijing. This isn't in Wuhan. Beijing is like the capital. This is like this is very, very important. Again, the virus didn't really hit Beijing, so now that is important there. They gave an order for factory workers to stay at home if possible, but they didn't say they were going to be closing down factories. But you kind of saw the reaction, and then we bounced up throughout the day. And again, why the market was up, I haven't talked about that yet, but the whole point with this China news and why this is even important today is that now the risk is just global trade, even if the United States opens up again. Again, same thing now with China and India. If there's conflict over there, an unprecedented conflict that we have never seen before. And that's why I'm saying this China-India thing is very new, and it is very premature to say what's going to happen. So I would even say most of what I'm looking at right now today is really what happened here with China. I think it's new. However, I'm only saying that about the China-India thing just because this is the first day, but the fact we're already seeing deaths, we've never seen this conflict. Again, the real broader negative scope that I'm looking at with these two events in total, and especially now this China news, is that if China's on lockdown, they have problems here. The risk is global trade. If the United States is open and everything's fine, but now we're still not going to Canada, Mexico, and all those places, we'll have a domestic economy, but you're going to miss out on a lot of global trade, and that could have a real big negative impact. That is not everything going back to normal in that sense. So I think the market kind of priced that a little bit interesting today, so I'm going to be watching that. But now, why was today so weird? And this is why I'm saying we're going to have to watch this play out, because today was the S&P moving like a biotech. You had positive vaccine news. That kind of slipped my eye today when I even saw like Eli Lilly was up 16%. That was one of them. But then there was also that new drug and then positive trials. Again, nothing been rebutted, but that's what gave us this 900-point cushion here at the morning. Again, it was a nice gap up. We were holding up. So the market was kind of holding that. Again, this wasn't your typical gap up biotech sell-off day. Normally we'd see it go up and then kind of sell off like that, but you saw that China news hit and then now Powell, but you had that positive news and again more economy reopening and then Fed yesterday and again stimulus and bonds. Those were all good news things. The vaccine news, the market acting like a biotech. So there was enough stuff, kind of just a little bit of a hangover from everything that was going on. I was showing you guys right here. You can see the gap up and all that. But understand that effect, and this is why we need to see which one's going to digest. Is the positive stuff going to digest and wear off as soon as this plays out? And again, watch the timing on this China-India situation as it escalates. But now, watch out for anything affecting or limiting the ability for the United States to export or import and stuff like that with any of these countries, because I think that will fundamentally change the pricing of Wall Street stocks, earnings, all that. But finally, throughout the day, we were listening to him. We listened to him for about 2 hours in the morning. It was very important. He was saying stuff, but it was really, really clear. I got something out of it. I don't know if you guys saw it, because again, more news started hitting. The market got a little bit weird with everything. Again, a lot of stuff happened today, but when we saw Powell starting to, again, this is when we first started to see that drop. The biggest key that I got from all of this is that Powell is pretty much, the market just doesn't like it when he says uncertain. They would actually prefer him to say he doesn't, not that he doesn't know, but if he was broad or even just flat out lie, when he comes and says, hey, we're doing something, or even jawbones it, the market actually likes it. But notice when there was the FOMC, the minutes, anytime, even a press conference, even today, you really saw the market react, and it was hard to tell because, again, at the same time that China news was dropping as Powell said what he said, but I'm pretty clear the signal that I'm getting and what I'm seeing so far with the response. I think it's pretty simple. If he says he doesn't know, if he says uncertainty, the market doesn't like that. The algorithms, it just that's a no-no. So as long as he gives an answer, it will hold up the markets. The markets will find some way to interpret it positive. But when he says uncertain, it looks like the market doesn't like it. So keep all of these three moving pieces. Obviously, we have still the same, second wave stimulus. What I talked about yesterday, Powell talked about it again, just how this economic fallout or recovery is supposed to play out, how that's going to affect stocks and all that. But now these two things today, I think, really changed everything, even from the last few weeks. Again, a lot of you guys were seeing volatility last week. We didn't see now actual action out of China that could affect global trade. Same thing even with this India stuff. That's like a weird, just like a weird Iran type situation, but again, I just don't know what's going to happen because it's already unprecedented that they're killing people, India and China casualties. That just doesn't happen. So this is going to be important. Watch how the market reacts to all this. Keep in mind digestion, and we'll see if any other news really does push it over the edge. But I hope you're ready. Keep the balances and budget in check. Don't get too jumpy, but we will see how it develops. But let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have a few plays that I made. Again, as far as anything that I'm going to be looking tomorrow, we made a play on Zoom. I will be watching for Zooms and the winner, those types of trades where, again, Zoom did very, very good today. Remember, just this whole virus trade, this is part of that export type of trade. Again, stay-at-home order from China. People not being able to be in school. You could see why Zoom would be a winner. We already have kind of an experience. Again, the drug stocks and the companies that are holding up. So we kind of have an idea of who's going to be a winner or a loser, but there has been that virus trade. So again, you even saw it with casinos. I am going to be looking at those. Again, Wynn and a few others, they actually started dropping. Wynn, Las Vegas Sands, all that. Even Vegas, I think the mayor or something said that it's a little too early to open. So these are the trades I'm going to be focusing on. And then The other trades I'm going to be focusing on, and I don't know if I'm going to be adding to them or getting any more plays, it's going to be the bank stocks. And that has to do, again, now with the Fed, the bond buying, and any of that digestion that would happen. So I got Bank of America. I got August 14th puts. I believe I got 50 of them at 9 cents. So it's like four or $500. But those got a little bit of time. And again, that's what I'm looking at. But then on the short term, if we do get any digestion, volatility, or if any one of these events, again, goes kind of crazy, we'll see. But Microsoft, I got them on the short term. They're a little bit higher, slower type mover. They had some decent plays on them. And what I mean by that is like you could get a decent amount to get in. I got 34 cents for 175s for next week. So this would either be kind of those like last week where you could profit off the extrinsic, but also they're not too far out where it's like, okay, if there is a big move or we sell off bigger than expected, they can be pretty viable. But be cautious on those. I will be more prone to flip those out. But again, you kind of see how I'm doing with this volatility. I'm being patient, kind of throwing that. Remember, we got some of those puts. They're working in our favor. Now we're at the bottom. I was able to get some calls the other day where I'm switching it up again now. And finally, last play, Zoom got July calls and beyond. Those are the other two plays. But these are the ones we made. And again, I'm going to be looking. I said this, that growth trade is one of those winners. So watch to see because some of these growth stock companies are unique. So Beyond was kind of a winner in all of it. They didn't get clapped as much, but we talked about the double dip. I went for the 245s for July. They were 97 cents, so I bought 5 of them. A little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay, but the spreads and everything were pretty big, but I like the fact that it had time. Again, you could go for the shorter terms, and that's something too. If Beyond comes down, and I think you could get them cheaper than what I paid. Yeah, they're like 5 cents cheaper on the ask on the Julys, but if pretty much Beyond doesn't make a big move this week and it's volatile, watch for the shorter term ones coming into next week. Then those will start to depreciate more, and then maybe these will even be cheaper, or you'll be able to get closer to the money. So this one's going to be time. It's going to be a swing trade, but I like Beyond. I like that trade. And again, Zoom, I only got one. I just wanted my hand in the cookie jar. Again, I think I played it last time, but I think I sold out of it early before the whole Zoom thing took off. But I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, this thing kind of reminds me of Tesla. I'm really just trading this. This is when I just know people are going to buy it. Do I know a reasonable value? No, I don't know if it could go to 350. I mean, I really do not know, and I don't think anybody does. It could get there off of stupidity. Maybe they get a bunch of half the world as clients again. I don't know, but that's why I said I'll throw one in here. This is definitely a very, very, just momentum speculative trade. Everything's speculative, and everything's not a recommendation. Option trading is extremely risky. You can't lose all the most financial rights. Don't lose all financial rights. Because on purpose only. Thank you everyone for playing. But you get the idea with that one. So I got one of those 350 calls, July, 92 cents. Going to be holding that. And those are pretty much all the plays that I made today. Again, we went over those. The Bank of America's, I'd like, again, well, no way they're at 34. That was weird. But I kind of like the bank. You can watch JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and I just want to see the digestion with this SPY. I'm going to look for those winning trades. Again, I want HD. I told you guys about that strategy I wanted to do with them. The calls would have been great, but they gapped up. They even closed up another $7, 3%. So in a way, they got a little bit of the upside of the rotation. I wasn't able to get those calls, but watch them. But it's going to be kind of good. This is going to mess it up because they had that big run up, a little bit of a bigger drop, and now they're going to pop up. So watch how it stays in a range here, because then it might make the contracts harder. You guys see how we've been trying to get both ways and all that, but those puts we got came down on this week, so we will see how that plays out. But I watched the HCs. I'm going to watch Expedia. I wanted them earlier this week, but again, those are going to be one of those winner or loser trades. AAL, they dropped a little bit after hours. I don't know if I will play these again. I just don't want to go near the airline stocks and any of the casino stocks since any of this started and they cut the dividends, and I missed out on the big trades. And again, I think option trades, not buying the stock, be very, very careful. Stop buying these garbage, trash, bankrupt companies, or they're going to keep trying to blame the 2% retail market for all of the problems because y'all keep wanting to buy Hertz and all. I don't know what the hell it is, but if the options are cheap enough and there could be a trade on the downside, I'll look for them, but these aren't going to be my favorite. However, I don't want to be as closed-minded this time, so I'm going to be looking at those. AAL, watch Facebook. They did a little bit better today. Again, all of the tech did good, but Facebook, even throughout the day, they performed a lot better. They stood out, so watch them. Tesla came down, still in that play, but they're at an interesting level. I mean, they're holding up, and they're holding kind of like a Zoom virus trade stock. It's actually very weird how Tesla's holding up, so going to be watching those. LQD, HYG, they went up a little bit, but still like had these weird like green red type moves, but we're watching it play out. The key you want to watch for them to even see the Fed, this is one of the bigger keys. LQD you didn't see, it was good to see on HYG, but volume, that's going to be the biggest thing. I don't know if you guys could see the volume, so you barely could see it. Let me put it up here. So So there's LQD. You can see the volume again. Yesterday's volume was big. Anytime the volume increases, this is big because, again, it's the ETF. Think about the Fed and even buying in. That's why HYG, when you see volume on this, it's good to see. So at least HYG volume was increasing, not LQD. So watch that. And then even on that note with bonds, if you guys even saw it, today was an interesting day with the market going up. But the crazy part is the dollar did a lot better than expected. It was even a lot higher even during Powell talking, but the dollar should have actually got crushed or came back down even to those lows. So it's interesting that it held up there, but still holding that UUP play. I think they're at the same price or a little bit lower. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at them again. Those have till January, but watching that one. And then finally, I'm going to be watching SHOP as one of those other growth trades. We'll see if it goes up again, see if it does outpace. The only thing that kills them is that if it gaps up in the morning, like it did the other days and goes up 30, 40 bucks, that's where it's like usually we're too late. So I'm hoping I could tell the move before that happens. And then finally, Win and all those companies, like I said, keep an eye out for those and see how that winner-loser trade plays out. But keep your eye on the broader news. See how this plays out. I'm usually early with a lot of stuff, so I'm just saying some unprecedented stuff happened. Keep your eyes open. Be prepared. Don't get too jumpy. We'll see how it plays out, but the rest of the year is going to still be exciting, even the rest of this week, and then there's a week after that, and a week after that, and a week after that. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. You are that building, baby. You drive by it every day. They see you, but they don't see you. They know you're working on something, but they don't know what you're working on. They think you're building something. They don't know. They don't see all of the builders every single day. That is you, baby. But when it's built, they're going to ask, baby. So do your thing. And remember, your next blessing is wrapped up in something or somebody you don't like. Ooh. So show some love, baby. Love yourself. Love the account, the budget, the balance, everything, baby. The cult loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.